Hello everyone, my name's Rachel and I am here today at Keilor Library where we are going to be doing Kids Zone, and in Kids Zone I'm going to teach you how to do some coding. So if you've never done coding before, that's absolutely fine. We're going to start off at the very beginning, but perhaps if you have done some coding before, you might have used Scratch, you might want to think about trialing another coding program this week when you've got some free time. So today, as I said, we're going to be doing some coding, and the computer program language that we're going to use is called Scratch. So this is like a website that you can go to code your own animations or games, and there are even some types of computer program languages that can help you build websites. Isn't that so cool? So what is coding? Well, coding is basically a list of steps that you tell a computer to get it to do exactly what you want it to do. So it can be anything really. As I said before, you can learn how to make animations. You can also make your own game. And today we're going to be making a game in Scratch. So I want you to imagine that your best friend or your pet is a robot. Imagine them as a robot. And I want you to have a think about how you might get them from one end of the room all the way to the other end of the room to sit in a chair. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But if they're a robot, they're not going to know what to do. So you have to tell them just the steps to get over to that chair. So you might say things like move 5 steps forward, move 2 steps to the left, move 3 steps forward, turn around and sit down. And those steps that you've just said out loud is a basic code. And that's exactly what we're going to do, except we're not going to say it out loud. We're actually going to put them into coding blocks on the internet. And the program we're going to use today is called Scratch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tablet and I'm going to show you exactly how to access Scratch and all you'll need to do today's code.
Okay, so now that I'm on my tablet, and you can definitely do this on a computer, in fact it may be a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my internet browser. Mine is Safari, and I'm going to type in the following web address. So it's scratch.mit.edu and hit enter or search. So this brings me to the Scratch website where, as you can see at the top, we can create stories, games and animations. And if you have an account, you can share these animations, videos and games with everybody across the world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my Scratch account, but if you haven't got a Scratch account just yet and you would like to join, you can click Join Scratch. This is where you'll choose a username. You'll also create a password, and then you may have to pop in your parent or guardian's email address, depending on how old you are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in to my account. And as you can see now, I am logged in. So up the top, my username, if I click on that one, I can see a few options, my profile, my stuff, or account settings. And this is how I would sign out too. So having an account allows you to save your work, and as I said before, share it with people across the world. But do make sure that you ask a parent or a guardian if they would allow you to have an account. It's always important to ask permission before you sign up to something. So once you're logged in, or if you don't want to create an account, you just click Create at the very top in the left-hand corner, Create. And this will then load into our project page. So it looks a little bit confusing, but I promise you, after a few minutes, you will have your head around it. So this is where you would name your project. So we might name it My First Project. Perfect. And now what we're going to do is go through what is actually on this page here. What can we see? So I'm going to start off on the right hand side of the screen where we can see our cat, and he's moving around the page. I'm just touching him and dragging him, all touch screen on my tablet. And this area here where this cat is the preview window. So you can see the little maximize button with the 4 arrows pointing outwards. That maximizes it so we can see a little bit clearer what's going on in that project screen. And we have our project area as well over here in the middle of the screen. And you can see that really light cat watermark in the top corner. And this is where we move the coding blocks onto to develop our code. As you can see, they snap together just like Lego. Now, some people will see this screen and they'll remember, yes, I've done some coding before. But if you haven't done some coding before and you don't feel super confident at just giving it a go, what you can do is you can go to another website called codeclubau.org, and this is where we can get our instructions for developing some codes. So once you're here, I want you to go to Fun Projects, and it says hundreds of fun step-by-step projects to make games, website, art, and more. We're going to click on Projects. And then as you can see, Scratch is just at the very top. So I'm going to click See All Scratch Projects, and this will take us to our different modules, basically the different levels as you progress through. Today what we're going to do is we're going to do a ghost catching game. So you can see here on the right hand side of the screen, it says you are going to make a ghost catching game. Go ahead and click that one. And what you can do now is you can download the lesson plan. And this is all the instructions you need to be able to code. All right. So remember, you can go back to your first project on Scratch and then toggle back to the instructions. Now I'm going to give my code a little bit of a go. Let's have a look. Now our sprites in the bottom corner, these are our characters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the little cat face and then click the magnifying glass. And this is how we can choose a sprite. So today I'm going to choose a ghost because our ghost game definitely needs a ghost. Alright, so we've got a ghost and a cat. Now I don't think we need the cat, so I'm going to touch on sprite 1, the cat. I'm just going to delete that one. And we've got our ghost now. Now to put a nice background into our code, we're going to go to the bottom right hand corner. You can see a little landscape or a backdrop. These are your backgrounds. And the same way again, I'm going to search for one, but you can paint one yourself or you can upload a photo as well with those options that have just popped up. I'm going to search for something spooky like the woods. Wonderful. It looks very, very fitting for a ghost. So I've chosen my sprites and my backdrop. You can choose whatever you like. And I'm going to go back to my instruction sheet now. And it looks pretty much the same, doesn't it? All right, step 1, animate a ghost. We've opened our new Scratch project. We've added in our ghost sprite and we've chosen a suitable background. Now we're going to add some code to the ghost sprite, and this is what the code's going to look like. So these are our blocks. We saw them just before. They click together just like little pieces of Lego. I'm going to go ahead and follow that code there in my Scratch project. All right, now I've done my first step in the code, and as you can see, I've gone down the left-hand side and looked at my little code block. So I've got motion, look, sound, events, control, and many more, and they're all color-coded. So if you're not too sure about where you could find something, of course have a look at the instructions and then have a look at the color. So the block height is purple. So then you can go back to your Scratch project and have a look in the purple blocks for hide. The next thing to do to test if your code works is to actually click the green flag. Now this is towards the middle of the screen, up the top. And that green flag is going to process the code that we've just put into that project screen. Are you ready to test it out? Let's test it out. So we can see the ghost appearing and disappearing. And let's have a look at our code to see why that might be the case. So it says when the green flag is clicked, we're going to do this forever. It's not going to stop. We're going to hide the sprite, and then we're going to wait 1 second and then show again. So you can see that it's hiding and then reappearing every 1 second. Now, the important thing to know is at the moment we are coding the ghost, and we know that because the little ghost watermark is up in the corner of that project area where we're dragging those coding blocks. We can also code a backdrop. So maybe you want the backdrop or the background to change, and that's certainly something that you can do, but you just need to make sure that you're actually coding the backdrop. Okay, so you can see when I select the backdrop down the bottom on the stage, it comes up in the little watermark in this corner, and that's how I know what I'm coding. So I'm going to let you now go and have a look through the rest of the instructions and see if you can get through this first code on our Ghostbusters game. If you do, make sure you do let us know. And if you feel like this one's a little bit too easy, remember you can access more instructions on the other programming languages, things like Python and HTML, through the codeclubau.org website.
Well, everybody, I hope you had fun with that code. Remember to let us know if you do get through the whole code. And if you do want to try some more coding, make sure you head to the codeclubau.org website, where there are so many that you can try in Scratch and other computer programming languages. One thing that I would love for you to do if you really like coding is actually reserve some books about it, because these coding books are brand new. No one's ever taken them out. We just got a whole bundle delivered. So they are ready to be reserved up on our catalogue if you do a search for coding or code. We have so many of them. You can see here there's just so many. So make sure that you do some reserving on our catalogue, or give us a call and we can pop them on reserve for you. I'll see you again soon. Bye.